Alrighty, here we are today working in the lab for our contest entry for the 3D printer competition, right? The Anet. And Dad's working on the CAD documentation right now, in regards to what we're calling the Santa app, right? So Dad, go ahead and hold your fingers down on these two keys, if you will. Did you ever do any deer hunting in the past?
Yeah.
Yeah? Were you up by Uncle Fred's?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's interesting with the CAD manifestation, we can, work on all these different planes, right? And, make things in dimension. We're using language today. So the word of the day is auric, right? And we're teaching just how that manifestation creates this notion of an appearance, right? That we celebrate during Christmas time, the holiday season. Also Christmas in July. So what we're looking at right now is the printer head putting monofilament down on a trim piece for our presentation. It's in a sense the notion of give. And you'll see how it looks like a cow or a bull in which, transformed initially from a prior translation. So again, we're using language today. Language of India. Now we're using multiple colors and separate passes to create a multi-hue presentation. Now this is not an Anet 3D printer. It is a 3D printer. It's doing a very good job, and we'd like to win one, right? So we can get some more authorship in our community. So there's the build-up occurring, and you can see it's definitely part of this contest entry. All right, let's swing over here now and show you what's on some of our notes. Okay, so we've lined up our translation. Okay, and what's interesting is in the far left of the translation we see what appears to be a deer, and the antlers themselves are quite precious. Individually, it's a representation of self. So if you think of movies like with Dick York and Elizabeth Montgomery, their daughter's name was Tabitha. So let's say this is the Deer Hunter movie, right? And Santa and his shadow, Black Pete, this notion of charcoal, right, is with him. So they work in unison, and they're looking for venison up in the constellations, and we can see the stars are like mighty fine jewelries. So we didn't glue this together yet, but here's Santa's list. All right, so that's like a sash on miscongeniality, and we're using pieces, right, from the translation and decoration. Santa used part of the deer skin as his beard. And one of the things that I found very interesting too was and like here, there's a piece of the meat, right? The meat that actually came from the deer itself. Now, what's really curious is this sprout, right? This Brussels sprout notion. Let's try to get some focus here. That initially came from the bull. So that's key in understanding. And here's you can see the variance, right, of this sprout, which is, of course, Santa, in this ultimate translation. Now, let's grab my notes here and tell you about some things. So gold related is this auric concept in which the calcium shield is around the yolk in the center, right? The magic of sulfur. It's almost like one of the original Cray computers, and and it's like there's a ransom out now for this amber colored deer, and that's all part of the index of this lore. And so what might be tragic about the auric gold coin story? Well, it's the possibility that you had to slaughter the bull for meat, right? That type of protein. And, you know, because we do fall in love with the animals and things like that. So there it is. There's our contest entry. All right. Once again, we want to thank the forums over there at Anet. Thank our cast. All right. And then let's go signing off here, see where this final piece is. Like a puzzle.